In 1996, we were told that there are rules to surviving a horror movie. This was told to us by Jamie Kennedy's character in Wes Craven's 1996 Scream. And now, in 2016, someone should come out and just establish the rules to making a successful found footage movie, whether it be horror, sci-fi, thriller, or any kind of genre, any film that intends to use the found footage structure. There are like many trappings with found footage. I mean, it came to a head in the Blair Witch Project in 1999. It is certainly something that has been utilized in the past, like in one of the Cannibal Ferox films, I think it was. And since then, we've had countless films like the paranormal films or the Paranormal Activities, The Visit, M. Night Shyamalan, Delivery, The Beast Within, and a few other found footage horror films or thrillers. Basically, some of the basic rules is like, one, you have to establish why the character is filming, what the camera is going to see, what's it going to show. And basically because you're basically trying to get the audience to believe that you are in fact seeing found footage of an actual incident, you're basically stuck in the constructs of what the camera shows. The camera cannot lie. What the camera sees is what you should be seeing, and nothing else, and nothing more. And you can imagine the tension and fear from seeing the original Blair Witch Project, because you were stuck with the camera's view and you had no idea what was going on in the periphery at any given time. So, and when you're establishing something like, say, a case study where that's bookended by actual, almost like it's actual case footage, you obviously want to establish the fact that this is just like edited together footage, and you obviously wouldn't do things like apply a score, or like, say, in some of the paranormal films where they play their hand and put a low bass rumbling to let you know that something's coming. It wasn't until the later paranormal films where they stopped doing that and just let the surprises happen while you're searching, trying to find out what's going on. But sometimes you can actually find a story where the found footage structure could actually work. And the film The Break-In, which is written and directed by Justin Doescher, certainly has that. It has a very compelling story to build upon, while still within the framework of the found footage. In the film, we learn that there's a series of robberies going on in the local neighborhood, and that basically starts to scare a young couple who are living next door to their best friends, and this couple is expecting, and they want to make sure they're safe. So the husband installs or soon-to-be husband, the fiance, installs a security camera system, and he's also conveniently got himself a new phone where he is taping everything to just show their soon-to-be born son or daughter just what life was like back then, and so they can introduce their friends and parents. So right off the bat, he's already establishing why they're taping, and you can totally buy into that. And sure, a lot of the conversations that are being filmed are pretty mundane, but we were in the YouTube age era where pretty much everybody tapes anything, no matter how mundane it may be. But and also he establishes, Justin establishes rules, and basically sets up the fence, like the security cameras on a delay. So obviously we know that's going to come into play at some point. So he's building within the framework, but then something significant happens that it's tough to say without spoiling anything. So I'm going to try and find a delicate balance. But he does things that just do not make sense in the construct of the found footage trappings, you should say. I'm not even going to go into the fact of what certain characters do that just do not play realistically, especially if you spend a lot of time watching crime procedurals on TV, like CSI or something like that, or even Hawaii Five-0, or Law and Order. But there are things he does with the story that completely takes you out of the found footage structure to the point where you no longer feel like you're watching a found footage film. You're just watching just some movie, and the found footage construct is actually becomes a distraction because of the choices that were made in the film. I earlier I mentioned how it was kind of a shame that the makers of the original Paranormal Activity decided to use a bass sound to like convey that something's going to happen. Unfortunately, in this film, when something you're expecting something to happen, he adds a sinister score. But since you're kind of early on established that we're looking at found footage that appears to have been compiled together for evidence of some sort, and we're getting a score, who scored this movie? Why would anyone score this footage? It should have just played out with no music or whatsoever. Just let the events unfold as is. It would have probably might have been more effective that way. But there's another thing where he starts. The camera cannot lie. If this is supposed to be based in reality, the camera cannot lie. What we see in the camera is what we should be seeing. It should not deviate from that in any way whatsoever. Such as like an allusions to what was that or anything like that. What the camera sees is what we're supposed to be seeing with our own eyes, and the camera cannot lie. So when you start like playing with playing tricks on the viewer to say it's like, oh, did I really just see that within the camera? Then you really start losing the audience. And he does go a little bit further to avoid where there's an event that happens at the end of the film that really completely took me out of the movie, and I just started laughing, which is kind of unfortunate because while he does leave clues as to just where exactly this film is going, but I kind of got ahead of it and kind of, because I was listening and paying attention, I kind of knew where it was going, and I expected to go where it did, and it did. But there were events that and courses of action that he took prior to that really just messed it up. And I basically just took me out of the movie, and instead of focusing on the story, all these elements just became distractions that kept taking me out of the film. So as a result, the break-in, which was had a decent plot and scenario set up for the found footage, but it's just the execution really ended up hurting the film itself. So I would have to give the break-in 2 stars out of 5. 2 stars out of 5. There was definitely something there that could have worked, but it's just the overall execution just proved to be unacceptably distracting to the overall film itself. So, if you like this review, hit that like button below. If are you a fan of the found footage genre? What were some of your favorite found footage films or least favorite films? What do you think are the rules that should be established to creating a solid found footage film? Please comment below and let me know. If you like this review, I'm sorry you did. I already said that, never mind. But if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do, so you can stay on top of my reviews as they come in. So until next time, we'll see you